This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 10, and it reads, For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakatadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be like to the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners, and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Ayashar Barazal from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone, coming back at you with another lesson that is edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. And once again, another installment of our camp's series called For Thy Violence Against Jacob, which pretty much highlights all of the evil, brutality, um, death, just everything terrible that Esau Edom, who is the so-called white man, uh, known as the wicked, according to the scriptures in Malachi 1 and 4, that he has inflicted upon Jake, since we've been under his captivity, and the part we're going to look at here is regarding Sean Ellis. Now, the thing is, in previous installments, we've talked about, how, Jake was murdered for, these causes that have gone back to white women, so-called white women. But in this installment, I want to focus on the criminal justice system and how it is definitely railroaded Jake. So it's not always about our literal death, but how they can, definitely interrupt your life by false accusations and having you locked up for extended periods of time. And in particular, I'm going to be talking about this guy, this Jake called Sean. His name is Sean Ellis, accused of, murdering a Boston police officer. All right. So there's a video clip I do have. It's a Netflix special that has gone into this. It eventually did work out for him, unfortunately, after over 20 years in prison. But you know, he was paid for it. But he lost 22 years of his life. All right, being locked up for something he didn't do. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to give a summary, put some scriptures to it, and then I'll just let the clip play straight through without any interruptions. All right. Again, this is about Sean Ellis, who was wrongfully imprisoned for the murder of a Boston police officer in 1993. He spent over 20 years in jail while maintaining his innocence. And I want to get Psalms 94, beginning in verse 20. And it reads, Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? All right. And once again, uh, the earth is given into the hand of Esau Edom, who is the wicked, according to Job 9:24. Okay. He's in rulership right now. That's what that throne means. All right. Who frameth mischief by law. And that's what he does to Jake. He makes up these grievous laws to keep Jake either locked up or going off, keeping him from from the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which is our covenant with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So he's making those laws. All right, that's what he does. Verse 21. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn innocent blood. And that's exactly what they did here. The entire police department, okay, the DA's office, other police officers joined in, all right, to condemn this man. You know, he 22 years of his life gone. All right. But in these situations, this is how Jake is supposed to respond and what's going to happen. This is verse 22. But Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is my defense, and my God is the rock of my refuge. Okay, He is our power. He is the rock of our refuge. Okay, verse 23. All right, so we should always, before I get to verse 23, got to always rely on Him, put it in His hands. Remember, vengeance is not ours, it belongs to Him. All right, He will fight for us. All right, verse 23. He shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, Yahweh our power shall cut them off. All right? And that word shall, means inevitable. He is going to get a hold of them and destroy them. Job 21:30 says, the wicked are reserved for the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth in a day of wrath. All right? So it doesn't look like, you know, they're going to be judged because they get away with so much, as we'll get into that, but they will be judged. Okay, and they're not going to like it. That's one thing about Esau, Edom, and so-called white man. All the shit they put out, they cannot take. All right, just look at how this word is cutting them up. You know, we don't have any weapons on military. And this word is cutting to the soul. All right. All right, so continuing on, uh, Sean Ellis was tried twice, which resulted in a hung jury by unanimous decision. He was tried a third time and convicted. Man, that brings to mind Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 16. And it reads, "For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause someone to fall." All right, and what is that word mischief? Let's get the word mischief. All right. Definition 1: a specific injury or damage attributed to a particular agent. And who is that agent? Esau, Edom. All right. Definition 2: a cause or source of harm, evil, or irritation, especially a person who causes mischief. Yeah, that's that SOB. All right. Definition 3: action that annoys or irritates. And that's what he does. He can't leave Jake alone. Cannot leave Jake alone. We got away from you after slavery, went and built our own communities. What did you have to do? Make up some lie to justify your destruction of it. All right? That's what you do. You are the wicked, period. Getting back to the scriptures. Let me see here. All right. Verse 17. And it reads, "For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence." Okay? That's all they do is consume wickedness and violence. And as the old saying goes, you are what you eat. Okay? That's all that they are, is wickedness and violence. Nothing good from these people. All right? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, as Psalms 53 tells us, there's none good. And when that being the case, you're supposed to never trust your enemy, according to Sirach 12:10, or Ecclesiasticus 12:10. All right? So, yeah, they definitely came together to make sure that this guy he was convicted after a hung jury twice. All right, this is the book of Exodus 23 and 2. All right, and during this series, you're gonna hear a lot of the same precepts come out each week. That's because Esau Edom is doing the same shit. you know, when it comes to railroading Jake or killing Jake. All right, the same stuff, because the law is in their hands, and they know that they're not going to get in trouble for it right away. But once again, judgment is coming. All right. This is Exodus 23 and 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. That's exactly what they did here. They knew this man was innocent. Okay. But gathered up everyone involved to bring forth evidence to get a conviction on the third time. All right. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to rest judgment. And that's exactly what they did. You know, they brought an unrighteous judgment to this man. Okay. Speaking lies. All right. We're gonna find that out. All right. So continuing on, it was found that the Boston Police Department and the district attorney's office were all corrupt in this situation. You know, when everything shook out, they were all corrupt. All right, but once again, the power was in their hands. Okay, the power was in their hands. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 7. Slakia, Psalms chapter 10, beginning in verse 7. All right. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, which is exactly what has happened here, and you're going to see that. Under his tongue is mischief, nothing, do nothing but bring harm, okay? And vanity, emptiness, which, it brings, it's nothing fruitful when it comes from this guy. At least not fruitful in a good way, all right? He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. Okay? You, Jake, are his aim for destruction. Okay? The elites know exactly who you are. They want to get rid of you. These low-level Edomites, it's in their spirit. I mean, they're finding out now, once those vaults were open. That's why a lot of them start burning Bibles and stuff. Okay? But the thing is, he has been after you since that birthright was given out back in Genesis chapter 27. All right, getting around verse 41. All right, verse 9. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. And that's what they did. Somehow, some way, they arrested this guy, set him up, and eventually on the third try, they got him convicted. Okay. And then verse 10. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. And that's what they did. They probably came to him, hey, we got a few questions to ask you, blah 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 blah, and then took him in, locked him up. That the poor, who are the Israelites, in this case Sean Ellis, may fall by his strong ones. Well, what is his strength? This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 10. Slakia, 11, verse 11 says, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. So because, the law is on their side, man, they feel like they can do anything with you with no regard, Jake. And a lot of you, some of you willingly go into the system by messing with his drugs, uh, taking a bait from when he sets up stuff in your communities, like illegal firearms. Sometimes, if you can make a decision on your own and stay out of the system. But once they get you in, that's the way it is. In this case, they, use their strength, which was the law, trumped up charges, you know. had no regard for this man's life. All right. Continuing on, it says the officers involved and other officers and the others were being investigated by outside agencies while they were still able to work their jobs, and Sean Ellis was still convicted. These officers were under investigation, the ones who got him railroaded. They were already under investigation, and their testimony still got him convicted while they were still working. Okay? Nothing happened to them at this point. All right? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73, and verse 5. And it reads, "They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." So you didn't took, 2 decades of this guy's life. You know, you're on the job working while you're being investigated. None of your cases should have a conviction on them. But that's what happens here. That is what has happened. All right. And continuing on, in the end, it was found that another white police officer was guilty of killing a police officer. Yet, the police department and the DA's office tried to get Ellis tried for a fourth time. What that Proverbs 4:16 say? They sleep not unless they have done wickedness. They tried to get him convicted of tried a fourth time, even when the evidence was overwhelming that he was innocent. All right, this is Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 17. He that speaketh truth showeth forth righteousness, but a false witness deceit. And that's what they were doing here, trying to get him tried a fourth time. Nothing but deceit, even when the evidence was against him. All right. Proverbs 14 and 5. A false witness will not lie. Slakia. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. And that's what Esau Edom does. What does Psalms 58 and 3 say? He is estranged from the womb, speaking lies. And that's what they were doing to get this man tried for a fourth time. Trying to cover up for another so-called white man police officer. All right. But you're going to have to pay for that. This is, again, in Proverbs chapter 26, verse 27. And it reads, "Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him." So even though it hasn't happened to you yet, Esau Edom, you all in that corrupt police department, it's all coming back, on the day of judgment, if you're not being judged already. But, once again, as Psalm 73 and 5 said, you're not in trouble as other men, neither are you plagued as other men. The Lord is reserving you for the final judgment, and it is not going to be pretty. After you serve that slavery, twice as long and twice as hard, by the hand of his people, Israel, according to Obadiah 1 and 18, you're going to be destroyed forever and wiped off the face of the earth, for good. All right. I'll close out with this. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13. Begin in verse 9. And it reads, "If any man have an ear, let him hear." That's a man with understanding. Okay. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay, so yeah, Esau, Edom, you done a lot over time from the time we exited Egypt. It was Amalek, the so-called small hatters today. Okay, that was coming up from behind, killing our old and feeble. Okay, Esau, Edom. Right after that, you wouldn't let us pass by the land to get to the wilderness. Okay, and the Babylonian captivity, you helped destroy our temple, and our sacred vessels. All right. Same thing. You gave us up in the Assyrian captivity. Okay, to Nebuchadnezzar first with Assyria. Okay, did that, and then what is it? We were under your captivity in the Greek, Roman captivity. Fell. We came back into power during what was called the Dark Ages, and then during the Renaissance period, you came back into power and have been in it ever since. Okay, so yeah, you got a lot to pay for, and we know this is you according to the scripture because you were blessed with the sword. Okay, according to Genesis 27. All right, 41. All right. It says, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites, according to Psalms 50 and 5, as well as Psalms 148, verses 13 and 14. The saints are the Israelites. So, yes, you will pay for what you did. All right. So, once again, the video clip is coming up. I said I was going to show you what was the status of him. The Boston police account for 31 million of city legal payouts since 2020, including 16 million for a wrongly convicted man. All right, and that man is Sean Ellis here, the one who you're about to see the video on. Okay, and it says Sean Ellis's $16 million settlement represents a large chunk of a total of the city's payouts from 2020 to 2022. All right, so obviously that fourth try did not work. He got paid, but he also lost, 22 years of his life. All right, yeah, that's what it says here. Sean K. Ellis's life was derailed by corrupted police homicide investigation. He served 22 years in prison before his murder conviction was eventually overturned in a protracted case that drew international attention and was the focus of a Netflix docuseries, which is what this clip is going to be about that's coming up. All right. So, once again, hope this lesson was edifying for the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahahakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom, Kwame Asharala. All right, here's the video clip, and you can catch this on Netflix.
This is Sean Ellis. Back in 1993, he was arrested for the murder of a Boston police officer. He spent 20 plus years in jail, all the while saying over and over and over again that he is innocent. He did not kill anyone. They tried this man twice It was a hung jury. The jurors could not come to a unanimous decision based on the evidence provided. They took this man to trial a third time. And on the third time, they found this man guilty of murdering a police officer. He spent 20 years in prison for a crime he did not commit. This docuseries on Netflix follows the case from the time he was arrested, and I'm currently in episode 6. There's 8 episodes to this docuseries. The Boston Police Department railroaded this man. The district attorney's office railroaded this man not once but twice, 3 times. And in the part that I'm going into, they're trying to railroad this man again for the 4th time. The Boston Police Department was corrupt. The officers involved in this man's case, they were corrupt. Other police officers knew that these officers were corrupt. These officers were being investigated for their corruption by outside agencies. And yet, they still convicted this man and had him sitting in prison for 20 years. After the 3rd trial, Mr. Ellis saw on the news this woman who was defending another black man from the corrupt Boston Police Department. And Sean said, "I need her." He reached out to her. She had such a full docket. She told him, "It will be a while before I can even look at your case." Sean told her, "I will wait." 18 months, Mr. Ellis waited for this woman to just look at his case. This woman looked at that case and she was like, "Hell no." She immediately got to work, requesting documents in regards to these corrupt police officers, as this docuseries is following all the steps that she had to take to try to get documents to follow the timeline as to how they came to the conclusion that Mr. Ellis murdered this police officer. It took years, and every step she took, they tried to block this woman. I said it. Every step she took, they tried to block this woman. I said the person who murdered that police officer was another police officer. This woman did not stop. She dug and she dug and she dug until she found a document that provided some clue, an indication that another police officer murdered this police officer that they sent Mr. Ellis to prison for 20 years. This woman did not stop. They had a scene where she cross-examined one of those police officers. She ate his ass up. This woman saved this black man's life. There was no promise of payment. There was no discussion of payment. She knew he couldn't pay her. She's standing on the principle of the law. She said it over and over again. How in the world do these people sleep at night knowing that they sent this innocent man to prison? She has been able to get this man a new trial. She has been able to get this man out of prison, and he is out on bail. Where I am in the docuseries, he is out on bail. It took his family 30 days to fundraise to get the bail money so that they can get him out. And the DA's office, the Boston Police Department, is gearing themselves up to try this man again. This woman has provided clear evidence that all of these police officers who were involved in this investigation were corrupt. They were looking for a fall guy. A police officer was named as the possible person who shot this other police officer because this police officer was corrupt and was messing around with this police officer's little sister, daughter, somebody. She was a teenager. And this police officer is indicated in paperwork from one of those agencies that was also investigating this police officer and his corruption. This is how police officers, police departments, district attorneys' offices, prosecutors' offices, this is how they do black men all across this country. You want to know how fucked up the criminal justice system is? Watch this docuseries. Watch it. Mind you, Boston is the same place where they harassed black men because a white man murdered his white wife and said that a black man did it.